Welcome, guys. We are back. Kaya I'm back. Kaya we are back. Ngati sana. Like we never left. We are here. This is Podcastmalawi. We are still the number one podcast on the land. And some other parts of Chani, kaya Mozambique, mbali na Zambia. We are still the number one podcast on the land, and this is the major meeting. We are here. And ngati basi tinapita sitizabwera so yeah samabange joncho. We are here, and I want to appreciate chifukwa support imene mmatipasa nthawi zonse. I think the last time that I was here was, when was that? November, I think. I remember the last episode that we shot was in November, and it's been like 2 months since we were here. But yeah, so a lot has been happening. Zambiri zakazuchitika, and tinaona kuti chakachi chikamayamba tikhaleso ndi mayambidwe yake achakachi. And before we dive into that, ndifuna ndibereke special address. And the special address, it's going out to our new followers. Tikulandireni. Anzathu amene mwangotipeza kumene. And today, I think it's been 2 years from the first day that we shot the first episode of the Emergency Meeting. It's been 2 years. The first episode of the Emergency Meeting was shot in 2024, January. I think somewhere around 24, 25. January 2024, and this is 2026 January. Tiduso kumapeto kwa January, and that marks exactly 2 years. And mu 2 years you can see unena kuti zambiri zachitika. I think if I'm not mistaken, this will be episode number 50 something, 54, 55 somewhere there. It means we've done about over 50 episodes of the Emergency Meeting. What is it that I want to communicate? I said I want to welcome our new members. Iwo amene muna akumana nafe kaya kumapeto kwa chakachi, akumana nafe muna mu January muno, they've come across our content and all that, maybe kumayambiriro kwa chakachi ino kapena mwina mmene boma lango sinthamu. And I want to say kunena kuti if you want to understand us or maybe know what we subscribe to or where we stand on, I think if you might go back a little bit after watching this episode, if you might go back a little bit to the content that we had, maybe first episode or second episode, or maybe episode number 21, 22, for you at least to get a glimpse of what we stand on. It will really help you. Why am I saying this? Because I was going back. I think the past week, I was going back to the content that we've been having. And now in episode number 1, episode number 2, I went and watched episode 22, 23, 24, just to see where we're coming from. And mwina china chimene chimandipangisa kuti ndionere ma episode awawa was maybe what other people say or other people might think when maybe we start again ntchito imene timachita pano. So ndimanena kuti to save your energy, please just go back, watch episode 1, episode 2, or episode 22, 23, and all that. I think you have a good picture of what we stand on. Chifukwa kuti ife sitili pano kuti tichite save anthu ena ake ayi timanena nthawi zonse, and I wanted to repeat that. And the funny thing is, the same things can be aired here. You know, the same opinions can be spoken here. Anthu akozolankhula. You will find out that if the same opinion or same things are aired out somewhere, feedback imakhala yosiyana. You find out kuti mene anthu akudzipangira place kumene koko kuti zomwe zitu anthu ena akanadzilankhula mu Emergency Meeting, but then we understand, timachita understand. So yeah, welcome guys, this is the Emergency Meeting. I just wanted to share those things kuti at least tiyambire limodzi, because this is another beautiful year, and we all know that we are into the new regime in as far as running the government is concerned. So I wanted us to be on the same picture. I wanted us to be, not on the same picture, but on the same page. This is what is happening. And ife, tiringati, MPC anthu onera mmasindana. MPC amaonera anthu olamula. Achipani cholamula. Achipani chosusa MPC saonera nawo. Boma likasintha ena anthu amene samaonera MPC achimazamba kuonera MPC. Kuno amene amaonera zinoyenda ndo osusa. Chifukwa imasusana kwambiri mwina ndi olamula muzolankhula zambiri. So anthu olamula kwambiri sikwenikweni samatikonda. What are you guys trying to say? So yeah, we are here and we will do this. I love what Comrade Gregory said when he came here, kodi nthawi ya boma la tonse mesa mapanga base mesa malankhulabe pano mwasiya ayi amene wasintha ndani aboma lasida anthu aja imakhala nthawi imene timapasa. We give them a 5-year mandate. They come, they go. So no matter how you are intimidated because of what you are speaking, because of the opinion that you have, it's just a matter of time. After a certain period, they go. So yeah, we are here and we are back. And today I've been put on a hot seat. Yo, man. It's going to be a one-man show. I've been put on a hot seat. I think on the other end, there'll be someone who's going to be asking questions, and I'll be responding to those questions as the first episode of the year 2026. What a challenge, man. What a challenge. But yeah, bring it on, man. Let's see what we can do and how we are going to, expound all those things that we need to discuss here. Yeah.
All right. So let's start with question number 1.
Munagaba santumoni.
No.
That just sounds serious, man.
Yes, it's a serious year. This year we have to be very serious.
Yeah, man. All right. Let's go.
Let's get into these questions.
Yeah.
I think the reason we are doing this hot set, and we'll do hot sets time and again.
Okay.
With you as the host of the show, but also with maybe other people, so we can give them heavy questions.
Ooh,
A hot seat within the emergency meeting is part of the experience of a tough boardroom, where sometimes you're put on the hot seat and you're asked tough questions. So this boardroom today is different. You're on the hot seat. More or less like an interview.
Yeah.
But we're giving you questions.
I mean, mukazi azondipasa ntchito mungoonera
They shouldn't take you through the same process again.
Just watch this episode and then give me that offer later.
Yeah. So this is going to be a few questions for you. So let's see. And let's go for it. So the first question is on political transition and power in Malawi. So looking back at 2025, Malawi experienced a change of government from MCP to DPP. 1, how did this transition unfold in practice?
Yeah.
What worked? What failed? And what surprised observers? And what key lessons should anyone aspiring to political leadership in Malawi take from this transition, particularly around governance, coalition building, and public trust?
Oh man, that's a heavy one right there. I think 2025 was a year that we were all looking forward to, because constitutionally we were going as a country to a general election, and this is always a time that defines us as a country. After every 5 years, constitutionally, we go back on the drawing board and we decide our fate. Good, okay? 5 years, what is it that we want, and what kind of a leader do we want? And it's an opportunity that is given to us as Malawians. I will also recall Gregory, imagine if these people were giving forever. It means whatever suffering, whatever torture, whatever that will be happening in that period, it's eternal. I mean, there is no end to that. But we are privileged. We did that particular time where we go back to vote. How did this transition unfold in practice? When you look at it, it's a change, okay? It's a change in terms of who is running or who is now in power or in control of the system. For the past 5 years, we've been having the Malawi Congress Party. Imene was being led by Dr. Lazarus Chakwera. Ndamene amasogolera chinthuchi. Atisogolera for 5 years, a lot happened. To an extent, tunena kuti mene timafika kuti tukavota, there were a lot of things, a lot of crises that were there. And what is it that people were looking forward? People were looking forward to change. You know, we reached to an extent, I think it's always like that. Kuti tikamafika nthawi yoti tivote, timakhala nena kuti tikungofuna kusintha. And mostly it's not like we want change of things. It's like maybe we just want change of maybe who we can talk to, you know? Because if you go back, you understand, it's not like things have changed. Like for the past 15 years, it's not like things have changed. I think the more they changed, the more they remained worse. But I think for us, it has been okay. Tingo sintha kuti kudasogolera ndani. And that's what we were looking forward. And you can see kuti there was hunger for that change. Kudai mwina ena akabwera adzatipasa zosiyana. We went out to vote on September 16, mafuta kulibe. Okay? We went out to vote on September 16, Forex ikusowa. Pena palipose. Like it was a hassle to get Forex. We went out to vote. Anthu akuvutika chimanga chitakwera anthu amagula 100,000, 80,000, 90,000. We were like in a lot of problems. We were like tinali pakona, you know, and the people were looking forward to maybe if we change the leadership, if we change people to control these things, maybe we will see change. So that is something that we can see. So you can see that the transition. And okay, what do we have? We've got these options. I already talked about the options that we had. Tinani options already samudu. Onena kuti okay, maybe tingopangira kuti basi tingoona kusinta, but they were not the options that were giving hope. But at the end of the day, we went out, we voted, you know, and I remember in this room saying, it's not like things are gonna change. I remember telling Ngozo that it's not like things is going to change, but let's just go out and vote. Because practically, when you go on the ground, it's not like things have changed, like changing. You hear me? So what worked, what failed, and what surprised observers, a lot of things surprised people. I mean, even the fact that APM won just by 50-something%, it's something that we didn't expect. It's something I think that a lot of us, when we were going towards the elections, it was not something that we gave it a chance to happen. Ambiri mene timakambira na zama elections timanena kuti I know apapa palibe amene angapeze chani, palibe amene angapeze 50+1. Chifukwa chani? Timakhala ndi zifukwa zathu. Based on mene anthu timavotera ku Malawi kuno mbuyomu, nkhani ya ma region, unena kuti pa central anthu amakavotera chipanichi, ku south anthu amakavotera chipanichi, ku north kumakhala kugawana, stuff like that. And also they were like kind of strategic partnership that were happening. Zimene timanena kuti okay, mwina awawa kuti awina afunika atengane ndi uyu ani ndi uyu. But if you can see, mene zisankho zazinaendera sizinaende mwina ifa chonena kuti awa anachita partner ndi awa. Okay, so you can see that there was a change in how the people voted. The people didn't vote based on kumena makhala. Anthu sana vote based on kuti kunoko nkwa chipande chakula. We saw a different thing happening. Anthu akuchigawo chapakati akuvota mosiyana. Chifukwa chani? I think they were also feeling the same heat. And they just had to do that, you know. If you stingane kuti mwina DPP mwina ka partnership ka afford, I don't think afford brought that that influence. Unena kuti mpaka ina synthesis kuti mwina DPP could have been 40-something%, and because of afford they were like 50-something. I don't think so, you know. But I think we can say unena kuti anthu anavota mosiyana, and it happened in a way that people didn't expect. Chifukwa chonena kuti aliyesa madandaula kuti zinthu zikuvuta. It was not like a part of this country that were complaining, or a certain tribe that were much complaining compared to others. Achewa suta masangalala kunena kuti chifukwa defende achewa tikusangala ndeti khozobanga this decision. No, everyone, the whole Malawi timakumana ndi mavuto ofanana, and zimene zonso zinapanga impact on the results of the elections. Kunena kuti it came out as it did. So people were surprised. I mean, we all thought we were going to go for like katinkati runoff. We all thought we were going towards that. And we said, no, apapa chimene chikuchitika anthu mukana ma alliance, what will happen is palibe amene angapeze 50%, but yeah, APM went into that and got like over 50-something% without even campaigning, you know. So I think what will people learn out of this? What are the lessons, man? What are we going out after all that? I think the first thing that I would say is people should understand you don't take for granted Malawians or voters. It seems like voters have realized their power. It seems like, I don't know if it's like that, but I think from what has happened from the election that we had, it seems like people have realized, no, we hold the power. We are the ones who decide. So it's no longer about where you're coming from. It's no longer about tribe. It's no longer about the region. People now just vote based on how they are feeling at that particular time. Tinanena pano nena kuti komatu ndi mmene zililimu. Munthu sungachoke pa nyumba pako kupita ukavota utayima pa nzero wa mafuta. Ukusaukira forex when you want to make transaction outside the country. It's difficult for those people to trust you with their vote. We said that here. And that's what happened. Mulilongo muno makala insane votes. But what? Those are the people that are trading and they are feeling the heat of the economic journey, of the economic environment. So, zosezi just mabanki sonena kuti zisinthe mene anthu akhozopita ukadani, akhozopita ukavotera. So people now should learn unena kuti no, zinthu zasintha. If you want people to vote for you, if you want people to still have trust in you, at least you have to bring something that is different. You have to at least show, man. At least show. Because I feel like kuboma lapitali judgment sojina avuda ndichongoonesa kuti you are in control. There was never that. People didn't see that, okay, muntu yakone kuti ali in control, that they are capable of turning things around even if we give them another mandate. Imagine telling people a week before voting that I know who is causing these problems. I know kuti mafuta akusowa inde ndipo amene akusowesa mafuta amene akupanga kuti mafuta samapezeke ndi wakulu koma sindikuwachosa ntchito leroli. I'm gonna fire them tikadusa tikavota. How sure are you that people are still going to vote for you, man? You know, so you can see that those kind of leadership failure or failure to show your leadership, it cost them the government. You get it? Eh? So you can see these are the things that people have to learn. Going into election, at least mukungoenda mwina pena pake kungo apakati mapina atanthu mkamwa pakamwa kutango fira kuti I think things are kind of changing. Maybe we can still, trust you. We have seen anthu akugwa achina UTM where they are coming from having 1 million plus votes from the previous general election. How do you fall down from there to just 200 something? It's also something that has to wake you up. It's something that has to jack you up and wake up and be like, oh man, this is kind of some reality check here. Because what is happening? We had like over 1 million votes. How are we going down to like 200,000 votes? So that's also something that has to, wake these people up. If we are going to go into another election like in the next 5 years, and okay, I think anthu amata kuzizimusa, anthu amata ubweresa chinthu china chake chosiyana, and that has to make you realize, okay, campaign yanga ndabanga bwanji. How was I going out campaigning for myself or for my party? And did they believe in what I was saying? Or kapena mwina zimene ndimalankhula anthu achasana zikhulupirire ndisanaone kuti ndizizoti zikhoza kuwathandiza. So yeah, we are in a change of government. We are in a new government. We have experienced a change of government. We now have the Democratic Progressive Party ruling the government. It's now 4 months, and man, we cannot say that. As I said, things have changed, but maybe we're gonna talk much about that. But I think that's what we can say about 2025 and the general elections and what followed. Yeah, man.
All right. No comments.
No comments. Okay.
This is a hot set. All right. Now let's go to the second question, which is like a big question right now. It's just January.
Yeah.
This is 2026, January. Not so much has happened, but so much has also happened.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the role and power of the vice presidency in Malawi. The constitutional role of the vice president in Malawi has often been unclear in practice. One, what is the intended role of the vice president under the Malawi's constitutional framework? Recently, key functions such as Dodoma, public sector reforms were moved from the vice president's office to the office of the president and cabinet, OPC. What does this signal politically and institutionally? How does this affect the authority and relevance of the vice president? especially in a system that also has a second vice president. Is the vice presidency becoming ceremonial, or is this simply a rebalancing of executive power?
Yo, man. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't expect to experience this so much just after 4 months. But I feel like we've been pressured. I mean, we've been pressured. I mean, it's just 4 months, but I'm telling you, things that were maybe supposed to happen like in a year or two has already happened. Yeah, here we are. I think this is what we subscribe to by being a Malawian. I mean, zinthu zimakhazi kuchitika basi nthawi iliyonse. All right, now, what is the intended role of the vice president under the Malawi's constitutional framework? Takatuma kambirana mchipinda muno kuti akuluakulu kodi vice president iwo bwanji mwina tizangouthetsa. And nthawi zonse anthu amakhala kuti genda miyala when we are kind of having those kind of conversation kuti ayi ife mwina timaganiza unena kuti mwina mpando ungochosedwa mwakuti anthu amakhala akumabwera ndithu coming after us kuti yayi iniyonse mukudziwa chabe mpando wa vice president authetsa ifwa chani yerere mwakuti. And then when you think of it kuti you ask kuti where are we coming from, that something that can give you a picture of why are we saying kuti mwina zinthu zitingodzithesa. What does the constitution say? Malamulo athu amati chani about the vice president? You understand when kuti vice president amakalowa mboma ndi president amene tikuvotera nthawi imeneyo. So we all know kuti it's the president of a party that picks a running mate who later becomes the vice president of the nation when that guy has been elected as a president. So it's all about constitutional success, one. Okay? Kuti china chake chachitika. The president is not able to function. Okay? The primary function is to assume the president if the incumbent is unable to discharge their role. Nthawi imene zikuvuta kuti president sangakwanise kupita kusogolo mwina wadwala, wamwalira, papezeka mwina pachitika chinthu china chake chimene sangakwanise kukhala ngati president facho mwina reasoning yake sikugwira that particular time. The vice president is there to take up the office of the president. The vice president is there to assist the president. So we've been saying it's a dedicated office where you normally don't have like a structured roles or responsibilities. Yonena kuti mene mwalowa mudzitere kukacha. Aye. You are there to assist the president. So when you're assisting someone, you assist them when they are open to be assisted. So ngati ndikuona kuti ntchito zanga ndizikwanisa ndekha as a president, I can be doing them by myself. So the vice president ndekuti adzingobwera ku office, ndikubwera kudzatani, ndikudzamwati, ndikuyendera kaya mu office mwawo muja ndikuona anthu akugwira ntchito bwanji mmene pa office pake palili. Because ali pamene popo to assist the president. So if the president is not open to be assisted, it means a vice president sazidani, sazikhala ndi ntchito. So the VP assists the presidents and may be assigned specific, but it's often limited portfolios. Sometimes, most of the times. So he's there, assigned activities, but most of the times, as we have seen through experience, amakhala wapasudwa ntchito zochepa zotagwire. All right? So you can see kunena kuti these are some of the aspects of the vice president, aspects that makes the office of the vice president. And chinthu china chimene tingaziwe nchonena kuti there's independence or some kind of security of the office. Chifukwa chonena kuti president alibe mphamvu yomuchosa president. Yomuchosa vice president. Olo atakhala zoti anyasana cha mtundu wanji, president alibe mphamvu yonena kuti akhoza kudzuka lero ndikunena kuti inu ndakuchosani vice president. Ndipo mawa ndisankha chani, ndisankha vice president wina. Mphamvu imene alibe. The vice president can only be fired through parliament, where the parliament can vote and impeach the vice president. So you can see kuti there's so much security. Pampando onena kuti ntchito yake ndiyongodikira atani, ndiyongodikira apasidwe ntchito chokera kwa bwana ake. So whether he's performing or not performing, the boss has no power to fire them. They only can be fired through parliament. So there is kind of security pamene popo, there is kind of independence ndithu kuti zochita zawo zimakhala zonena kuti ndife office ibe ndithu yotani yoyima patoka. And chifukwa chena kuti mwina vice president sangachosedwe ntchito, mwina chifukwa chake paliso provision onena kuti president atha kusankha second vice president. And this is something that we have seen after like over 20 years, whereby there is a second vice president. The first vice president, I think mwina zimangoendera kubanja, kapena mwina mwayi wa kubanjako. The second vice president was Chakufa Chihana. I mean, served from like, I think 1994 to somewhere around 2003, and his son is the second vice president that Malawi have had in the in the years of democracy. So you can see nena kuti chimene mwina president angapange ndikuchesa ntchito ndikumaka mpasa second vice president ngati sakukondwera ndi mene vice president akutani agwira ntchito. But you can see kunena kuti office ya vice president imakhala nthawi zonse ikutani ikudikirira zochitika, ikudikirira ntchito kuchokera ku office ya president. And ntchito ina yo ndi agwire ndionena kuti a president azimtuma kuti kandiyimirireni, kuli mwambo wakuti kuli mapemphero a John Chirembo, kukumbukira John Chirembo kandiyimirireni, zinthu ngati zimenezi. Pamafunika ukatsegulira function yakuti utapita ndimukatsegulire zinthu ngati zimene zija, amafunika azipita the vice president. Chifukwa chonena kuti pamalo pamene president sakupezeka koma amenera kupezeka, malamulo ake ndi mudongosolo lake, the only person who is supposed to go there and represent him should be the vice president. But we have seen this happening kuyambira way back, where nthawi zambiri sizimachitika zimenezo. So I think if you can check, you find out kuti the constitution is not much clear on what are the exact roles or responsibilities of the vice president, other than maybe just mentioning the aspects of the office. Could the office Now you have asked about the functions that have been stripped off from the office of the vice president. At lower Mbumba anthuwa, so as we know, tanakale kuti office imangokhala ndi office mukudikira kuti apase ntchito. Anthu ambiri we alarmed kuti anchifukwa chani mpaka tili ndi anthu awiri, vice president and then second vice president, ntchito yake adzitani. And I can take you back, there were justifications amene amaperekedwa kwa anyamata ku Japan cholamulako, anthu amene timakhala tikulimbana nawo ma social media. Amakhala apereka panopa bwana aja sazithamangathamanga. You get it? Bwana aja panopa akula sazithamangathamanga, so akufunika anyamata kuti adzathamangira. And they even said, a vice president aja, being lawyer, being someone already zamalamulo zamazisata, adzikhala kuthamangisa ma reforms aja. Kuonesesa kuti the civil service aja ikugwira ntchito yake nditu, she will be the one that will shake the civil service. Kumbali nayi nyamata uyu ndani Chihana akhalanso akuthamangathamanga. Those were the justifications that we were given when we questioned why are we having two vice presidents. We accepted. I mean, what can we do? Because there was nothing that we could have done stopping kuti pasakhale anthu awiri. We accepted. And then it was announced kuti the vice president has been given the responsibility to head Dodima, the Department of Disaster and Disaster Management Affairs. She was also given my reforms. She was given these two assignments. The second vice president anawuza kuti ayang'anire nkhani ya Mbombela University. Ndipo anapasidwa nthawi ndithu kuti pofika mwina 2027 kukhala kuti first intake yachitika. We all know the status of Mbombela University, and we all know what amount of work that needs to be put together to make sure when come 2027, kaya mwezi wanji, kaya pazakapa 31 December 2027, we are having the first enrollment of students. In December, tinaona Dodima ikuchosedwa ku office ya vice president. Now, nthawi imeneja kunali kuli mpungwe onena kuti kodi a vice president apita kunja pa ndalama za ndani. And we had like 3 angles kumene kumachokera nkhani kuma zimapezeka zochokera nkhani zosiyana. If you recall, tinali ndi office ya president, tiyambire ndi office ya vice president. Imene nazanena kuti iyayi anthu amene akupita ku ndi anthu 6. Komano sitinawuze kuti anthu aja akononga ndalama zingati. Then we had the office of the Minister of Information imene imayankhulira boma imene nanena kuti inde budget ya ulendo itinaiona ndithu inkakwana 1 billion chakuti 2 billion I think inkakwana 2 billion chakuti nkanthu koma president ataiona anaona kuti ayi ndalama zonsezi sizingaonongeke pa zinthu izi ayi bwanji anthu inu mutenge ndalama yokwana was it 160 chakuti million if I'm not mistaken I think yes I stand to be corrected nde awawa amene apita kunjawa a vice president aononga ndalama imeneyi. There were also angles yonena kuti kodi ulendo is it a private trip or a government sponsored trip zimene awa amathawa panga report mwina awaso panga report mwina and then later on office of the president inanena kuti iyayi ineyo a vice president andisimikiza onena kuti iwowo apita kunja ndipo sanagwiritse ntchito ndalama yachani ya boma. So you can see that we have like 3 angles zimene kuchokera nkhani from the same government system koma nkhani zosiyana. Malawians being Malawians, tinauwawa tinatani, we never asked for the truth about this matter. Mpaka pano office ya president inalankhula zake, the Minister of Information inaduza zina, our office ya second vice president inaduza zina. Ulendo uja unachitika, the vice president left the country on 26 if not 26 December. Atangochoka kupita kunja kunachitika mvula imene inabweretsa mafloods kunkhotakota. In Nkhotakota I think was the only district, I mean one of the districts that were heavily affected by the floods. The boss is outside. And I think she was supposed to address the nation through Zoom, which I think it never happened. And anthu anayamba kulankhula ulendo uja nakataonani memwe mwangochoka kuno nyumba muno pochitika mavuto nda msogoleri wa mtundu wanje mauti zambiri zinalankhulidwa. And in the end what did we say? The president said kunena kuti ndachosa function ya Dodima from the office of the second vice president to the office of the president and the cabinet, which means Dodima will now be operating under my office. Nkhani yake tufuna tuonesese kuti pakuchitika machawi onena kuti ntchito zikutani ntchito ikuthamangisidwa ikugwirisdwa chifukwa kuti mphamvu kapena ma resources will be coordinated from the office of the president. Man zaboza office yiso ndi office ya munthu wankulu. Just tell us mwatenga office mwatenga ntchito kuchoka ku office ya vice president kubwera ku office kwanu. You don't need to justify that because the justification are nothing but baseless. I mean this is the whole office of the vice president. So we accepted. Inachosedwa kuchokera ku office ya vice president. Anthu tinavomereza. Now we were like, okay. So what does it mean? Apapa zutanthauza zonena kuti a vice president azingodikira kuti a president awatuma kuti chani. Komanso I think asalandire nkhani ya ma reform. Ndekuti mwina zizapasa ntchito kapena busy za ma reforms. Alas. When was that? A few days ago, there was an announcement by the president, by the office of the president. Kuti zochitika za ma reform tazichosa kuchokera ku office ya vice president and as many zizichitikano kuchani ku office ya president. Justification yake yomwe ija tufuna kuti zonsezi since power ili kuno nde zizichoka kunoko. Baseless. You know, now the office of the vice president as it stands is just the office of the vice president. Mena nalini ma function awiri awa ndi ma department onena kuti kumakhala kuti zambiri zochitika. There is work each and every day. There is work ku Dodima each and every day because there are officers across the country. In every district at Dodima in the office. In every district. Okay? So it means kuti it's a full-fledged department yonena kuti yokubasa busy sunganene kuti ulibe chochita yayi. You have to go there, source for funding. Kuti kodi anthu atithandiza bwanji. Chuma tichipeza bwanji kuti tisangatire anthu amene akhuzidwa ndi ngozi zimene zikugwa zizi padakali pa ndikamba za flood. There are people that are in camps right now. Chifukwa choti they were displaced. How are we going to support them? Anthu ali school. How are we going to support them? How are we going to help them to go back to their life? Tipanga bwanji. So you can see kuti in the office yonena kuti sunganene kuti ulibe ntchito. Olatangonena kuti moyo wawo onse azingopanga za ku Dodima. It's fine. You get it? So now that has been taken away from her. So we're like, okay, mwina kuma reforms kupodi iyiso ndi ntchito payoka. Yotolo 5 years ata usayikwanisa kuidani kuichita. Now that one also has been taken away from her. I wanted to give this background. What does this signal politically and institutionally? Bro, no matter how you convince yourself that this is okay, I want to tell you that stripping off these functions from the office of the vice president, it is not okay. Something is happening here. We might not admit it today. Lelori tikozosabanga admit it something is happening. But I'm telling you, why am I saying this? We know where we're coming from as a country. We know where we are coming from as a country in as far as my vice president is concerned. Takhalezi tukumafika pa madandaulo kodi nchifukwa chani ubale wa president ndi vice president sumakhala bwino. We go back. Mwina tu nda Justin Malawi zoka mwina amene anakhanga anamva na magazi ndi bakiri that he did 10 years. They did 10 years together. And then after Justin Malawi we had Kasim Chirumpa, who did first term with Bingo. And mpaka pano I think kunali macases onena kuti Kasim Chirumpa ankafuna kupha president, right? Yeah, there were allegedly I think there were those cases. So you can see kuti ubale pamene pajandero sunali bwino. I think maybe some of you were active those days. You can help us identify mwina zinthu zina zake zimene zinkachitika pa ubale wawo zimene mwina ina afesi na zitolere. But I think we can speak from Joyce Banda that when Joyce Banda came as a vice president in 2009 anakumana ndi mavuto kufikira unena kuti 2 years later he formed his own party. She formed her own party, the People's Party. Why? If it reached to an extent where the vice president it means the relationship was not okay. Because if the relationship had been good, there was no need. Because at that point, that's the time I can be, I can be the second in command. I can be the first in command one day. But no, that was a time where she was like, I have to have my own party. And when Dr. Bingo Mtaliga died, Joyce Banda became the president with her own party. Okay? And then 2014, we saw Chirima came in. Achirima chipani cha UTM anayambisa ali ku DPP. Chifukwa chani? It means kunena kuti ndekuti kakhalidwe kana sintha nthawi imeneyo. Kakhalidwe kana sintha simene amakhalira atakumana, simene amakhalira atapezana kumene mu 2014. Anono sizili bwino. Nkhani yake inali chani? Akatapanga ichi kuchidwa block. Akatatere anankhumwa ndamene akayimirira APM. Akatatere achaponda ndamene akayimirira APM. Saulos Chilima alipo. Kena kompameneto anthu amayamba kupanga push the narrative yoti munthu yatenge chipani. I don't know kutenga chipani sikuteka. They started their own party. This guy, may his soul rest in peace. He was privileged to do the second term as the vice president. Anakumanaso ndi mavuto. Okay? Anakumana ndi mavuto. Anthu amatumidwa achina onabo chimwendo amatumidwa ukapanga represent the president when he's here. Amapasidwa mataski ndikulandidwa to an extent mpaka anamangidwa as a vice president. For a year, he was not operating as a vice president. Chifukwa chodiani, he had cases to answer. So, coming back to today, I think it would be foolish to think there's nothing that is happening. This I will be open to tell you, Malawians. We will be foolish to accept this narrative. A president angona kuti izizi basi zichitika mu office mwawo. We have history and we know where we are coming from. And this we are saying based on where we are coming from. So does this say something? Does this imply something politically? Yes, it does. What it means is zinthu zasokonekera, but it's unfortunate kuti zasokonekera zinthu zangoyamba kumene. We didn't expect this to happen as early as this. It's just unfortunate, man. sometimes it's inevitable to happen kuti izizi after every 2 years zimachitika komano 4 months kulandana ntchito amwene izi zikuoneka kuti zatani zalawira. So we are saying this based on where we're coming from. Izi sitikungonena kuti tilibe basis I think that's why I'm saying kuti tikhala opusa tikamanena kuti izizi zungochitika a vice president azi atumabe amwene. How does this affect the authority and relevance of the vice president, especially in a system that also has a second vice president? What it means is a vice president office yawo ndiyo panda ntchito assistance azingodikirira. So it seems like this is someone amene akuona kuti he doesn't have confidence in you in just after 2 months of doing all those assignments that he gave you. Chances are he's just gonna be pushing every assignment that he has to Mwina second vice president or Mwina ma minister. But also we have to recall, we have to remember kuti the second vice president has his own party. And we know what that means. And na shine. Because every time the second vice president is out there, he carries the colors of his own party. Ena wata kupita kwa inde, but at the end of the day, makala achipani chake ya makala kudani akutuluka. So I don't think these other people will be happy to see this guy azoneka kuda kubanga gain momentum at their own expense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the second vice president has cases in the court, right?
Yeah.
And those cases have stopped until 5 years is gone.
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted because I've seen a letter by Center for Transparency and Accountability. CSAT. Yatusakala tonena kuti ikanakonda kuti Anti-Corruption Bureau isaiwale kuti inali ndi ntchito before kusintha kwa boma. If we are talking about the independence of the agencies, Anti-Corruption Bureau should remember kuti its work is continuously. Ntchito sakuyamba panopa. They've been working. And that means they've got a backlog of cases. Amene ndofunika, there are cases of corruption that were there like 2020, 2019, 2018, cases of corruptions. That cost us a lot of millions, a lot of billions. Those are as important as any case that can come panopa.
Yeah, because even the Minister of Finance right now, there's a case with Salima Sugar, right?
Exactly.
Where there's allegations of embezzlement of billions. And most of the people that are in the current government right now have cases to answer. Have we just forgotten? Is this okay? Is this how rule of law is handled?
Kulankhula kwawo akamala nkhula manena kuti ati guilty until what?
Proven good.
Yeah.
Proven rather.
Yeah, proven. So my argument has been kuti bwanji tikanamaliza kufikira kuti tikupangeni clear.
Yeah, why would we start new cases of new people when the previous cases are not finalized? Is it that bas?
No, I think that's how we roll.
But with this can remind us that everything is politically motivated.
Yeah, it is.
From the actual development, the actual prosecution of
law,
cases, and everything else is politically motivated. And it means that for those that are not politically protected, those ones are the ones that suffer.
Yeah, true. We said here, Ngozo tinankhwana kuti, I think I was not with Ngozo, but I had this other guest. Tinkanena kuti when APM was Menanka Sanka Maudindo, so he had just appointed the acting director general of SCP. Ndeti nkanena kuti they should remember that there are cases there. We will not see them kuti they are working if they are only focusing on anthu amene mwina angotuluka mboma. I don't feel like that's how we should play our justice
Yeah.
or maybe our fight against corruption. If we are really serious about taking out corruption or just reducing how corruption is done, maybe we can't 100% clear corruption. But if we say we are serious about at least reducing corruption in the government system, they don't have to start work based on makeses apa nopa. Because mu office imene walowamo, I mean, ukalowa office yaso pano, si umayangana kuti what have we been working on?
Yeah.
Yet, every time that you take over an office, you sit down and you're normally handed over by the people that were acting before you came in. Okay? So, anthu aja amabwera, bwana, musa nabwere, atachoka ena aja, tinkapanga izi. Panali kesi. And mwina, titayambira pamene papa, tikudikira ma resources oti atithangatire kuyambira makesi ena. You get it? But I think, unfortunately, that has not been done. So we cannot stay here and clap hands. Boma likuchita bwino. I think we need justice when tasiya makesi ena that involve power of people that are out there that are in the system right now.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. Okay, fine. Let's go on. Question number 3. Cost of living versus official economic narratives.
Yeah.
The DPP government has recently claimed that the cost of living has declined by around 2% based on official data. How should Malawians interpret such figures when, at the same time, VAT has increased from 16.5 to 17.5, which is a 1% increase? Fuel prices have risen by over 40%. Electricity has gone up, I don't know if it's 12% or somewhere there.
Yeah, 12.
And sugar prices have also gone up.
Twice since last year.
Yes. Workers are also facing higher taxes and stagnant wages. How do these lived realities square with the official economic narrative? Is this a case of statistical improvement without household relief? Or are we missing something in how cost of living data is communicated?
Whoa, man. I love it when decisions are made based on the data. But also sometimes, I think data yathu nthawi zina imakhala ndi mavuto. And sometimes it becomes wrong to define something on the ground based on data. Chifukwa chonena kuti I think the quality of our data nthawi zambiri mwinaso pena timazayilowesa ndale data ija. Pena mafigures kungoatchula basi. But in actual sense, when that's not something that is on the ground. But still, all in all, data ndiyofunika. And we really encourage kuti tikamapanga ziganizo, tizipanga ziganizo based on the data. And zimatithandiza kuti mavuto amene tili nawo mwina tizikwanisa kupanga deal with. Chifukwa choti tili ndi data imene it's accurate, zimatithangatira. There was that communication kunena kuti inflation yatsika, it has dropped, and there's always celebration over that. Inflation yatsika, nkulukuta moyo kungobwera basi inflation yatsika, 4 months, something like that. But if you ask me, does that reflect what is happening on the ground? How long does it take for that to have an impact on the actual life, on the experience on the ground? Because, yes, tukunena kuti inflation yasika. How is that possible when, on the other hand, the buying power ikutsika? 20,000 kwa jimene ndinali nayo zulo, lero lisi kugula zinthu zimene nakagula zulo. Okay? So, how is that possible? I'm not an economist. But this is at least from like a layman understanding. You know, VAT yakwera. There's been a couple of taxes that have been introduced. So VAT yakwera. There's been a tax that has been introduced on landlord. Kunena kuti, I think it's 20%. Yeah, 20% on landlord if you own a house in the city. Kaya makansomu nyumba yanena kuti aboma akuwerengera malo amenewo, you are supposed to pay 20%. And we all know kunena kuti msonkho umene usoti malandlord apereka from their money. It's the citizen that is going to pay. Because the landlord still wants to get their 200,000 kwa chimene amakuchaja. So what are they going to do? They are going to tell you kuti nyumba itu takweza muzilipira 250,000. Ndauza zoti 200 yake ifuna izitani izibwera. What does it mean? We are paying more. We are paying more from the same money that tikwenaso tikagulire china chake chimene VAT yake yakwera, chimene mtengo umene tikagulawo siwazuloswo ayi. It means mtengo wakwera. From 1st January, VAT panopa ndi 17.5%. It means unena kuti munthu ngakhale chinthu yanali nacho mu stock kale mene timalowa pa 1 January and amachigulisa pa 20,000. Panopa sangangoyika 17.5% ndikuchisiya pa mtengo omwe uja wakweza. And we have to accept the fact unena kuti anthu akamapanga adjust ma prices sapanga adjust based on the percentage imene yachitika ya ukuku. Sapanga to adjust ndi 1%. The adjustment is going to be more than 1%. Fuel wakwera ndi 41%. That's like a big percentage, man. A big percentage, almost half. A big percentage. Magesi akwera 12%. If you look at it, you will find out unena kuti malipiro a munthu sanakwere. For a long time, malipiro a munthu oti akugwira ntchito mboma, malipiro a munthu oti kaya akugwira ntchito makampani, kaya mwa amwenye, kaya mwa anthu makampani a Malawi, sanakwezede malipiro adakalipo mpacha. So, how is it that inflation ikutsika when on the ground people are experiencing a tough life? Because we all know kunena kuti mafuta akakwera, chilichonse chimakwera. So what is inflation? Okay? We timadziwa kuti mafuta amakweza china chilichonse. When mafuta akwera akukweza china chilichonse pansika. Kuyambira transport and anthu akamakweza groceries zinthu amene yayi transport itu yakwera. Chifukwa mafuta akwera. So everything, the prices of things go up. Is it speaking to each other? Ndikutsika kwa inflation. You find out unena kuti it's a cosmeted lie. I think we are being told something different. Or chifukwa I think pali economy ina yake imene maenda ndi ka excitement. Kongoti chimanga chatsika. Basi ndekuti china chichonse chili bwino. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. In as far as inde chimanga chatsika. Yes. Chatsika. It wasn't a true market value, of course. Chimanga sili manage zikha ku 100,000, sili manage zikha ku 100,000. Pamayeneka pakhale mtengo wina wake. In fact, boma amene linkana kuti tikugula chimanga inali ndi mtengo. Boma limagula I think chimanga kumayambiriro kuchata lengeza kaya boma lomwe lichanapita licha. I think magula chimanga pa 50,000, 60,000. But chifukwa anthu anapanga hold chimanga, and you find out even the people that hold the chimanga si anthu osauka. Ndi pa politicians omwewa. Ndi anthu omwewa amene amadziwa kuti economy imayenda bwanji tingatani kuti tifinye pena pake. They took advantage of the situation. So telling me kuti inflation yasika and all that, I feel like it's not a true reflection of what is happening on the ground, man. If I'm to be honest. Chifukwa yona kuti malipiro ndomwe aja zimene ndalama zimene anthu akulandira ndi zomwe zija, but what are they? Does the money still hold the same power that it had previously? No. It has lost its power even more. Panoba. You get it, eh? Chifukwa the same 10,000 imene imatha kugula at least 3 liters. Panoba ndikuti kugula 2 liters. Ndikuti you've traded off a whole 1 liter, which is about 4,000 chakuti. You get it, eh? So I don't understand it. I don't understand it when we say, because I feel like nthawi zina zake tikamapanga communicate timangofuna kuti mwina tingobweresa kanali tifikena kake kamene sikuona koma kakati thangatire kuchepesa mwina kaya ndi ululu kaya ndi mkwiyo wa anthu kuti anthu angofira ngati zinthu zikuyenda when zinthu sizikuyenda. So on that, I feel like it's good. Tinanena muno kuti akuluakulu economy yetu sikuti isintha DPP ikalowa mboma. We said that. We said that because we knew we are living in a lie. tinkanena zimenezo mchipinda muno. If you can go back, chifukwa chakambiri tinanena mwayambiro kuja kuti can you go back? If you want to understand where we stand on, go back. Tanena muno kuti akuluakulu sikuti boma and ndani Dr. Kabambe ananena kuti akuluakulu economy yathu yaonongeka pofikira unena kuti we need years. And in kukonza economy ko, there are like some tough decisions that have to be made. But at least the one thing that you owe Malawians is to be honest in how you're doing your things. If you can tell us, kuti inflation yakwera, it's fine because we know exactly what is happening on the ground. But if we are being told that inflation yasika, makuti, I feel like ndi mabosa. The actual life on the ground, it's not easy. Moyo background watani wavuta. Moyo background wavuta. The cost of living panopa is so high. Is so high. Even compared to the past 4 months, 5 months, is so high. It's not where it was. It was worse permanently pacha. Kumapanopande, we have gone down. Moyo suudani, suli bwino. And I hear there are arguments on the abola chimanga chikupezeka. Siti mango jadu ufaoka. Kuti tije nsima, we don't just need men's. We need ndiwo. Ndiwozo zatsika ntengo. Ayi. Zakwera because kulivati vati anakweza mchere uja anthu anakweza chifukwa kulivati. So tizingoja phalalo sitidzika mu mchere ulo shuga akukwera. So how do we say kuti things are okay? Things have not been okay ku Malawi for years, and they are not okay now, and they are not going to be okay anytime soon. That's the reality that we have to know. That's the reality that we have to keep as we go on. Ndi moyo watu ngata Malawi. So tiziuzana chilungamo. And one thing that I don't like about this current regime is kuti imanama. That's what I can say. Imanama. You remember there were panama allegations in kapika data kwa IMF and all that, you know. That's how they used to roll. They're used to that. That's how they roll. But I don't think you should be basing your economy on lies. Just tell us the truth. We understand it. If you're the economy yatu yavuta sudi tudziwa panopa. Mayas. So fuel wakwera chani, but what we have to know is Kabambe amanena kuti kukonza kaya mafuta kuti kaya dzipezeka kachani, solution yake sikungokweza fuel. Kuti fuel kuti kapenati kakweza fuel and the fuel azipezeka. It's not about that. Because at the end of the day, you still need to buy that fuel with Forex. What are you doing to get the Forex to buy the fuel? So you'll find out in the next 2-3 years, we'll find ourselves in the same problems. What are we going to do? Are we going to hike the price again? Kura abasizi kuteka mwina tirike pa 7.5 per liter. No. There's just a lot that needs to happen. And we know what needs to happen. But maybe we are not doing the right thing. Bad. Don't come to us with lies. Just tell us the truth. We'll accept it. Tikuziwa pamene tili. Sikuti sitikuziwa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
Chimanga chimafuna transport imene yakwera.
Chimanga chimafuna transport imene yakwera.
Ndiwo zimafunika pa chimangapo ukhale komanso mafuna kugaisa mwene ogaisa wakweza.
They are independent on their own.
Ndiwozo zifunika zikhala zokweraso chifukwa ndiwozo zikulimbanso matax anyuwani.
Exactly.
Ukapanga compound zonse pamodzi upeze kuti kusisa kuja sikunachitike. Koma poti anthu safuna kupanga reason in this context.
Makhandika excitement kenaka
But anyway, it's a hot set. I don't want to comment anything.
It is.
Okay, let's go on the fourth one. We have 5 questions, so just 2 more to go. Uganda. Opposition politics and Africa's democratic reality. In Uganda, opposition leader Bobi Wine lost elections amidst widespread allegations of intimidation, vote rigging, and military involvement. Despite documented violence, arrests, and threats, including public statements by senior military figures, the son of the president who is the chief of commander of or the chief of the military, international bodies, including the AU, endorsed the election outcome. Well, there's even a saying that 2,000 people have been detained from Bobi Wine's political party, and 20 if not 30 have been killed. And those numbers of we have killed, this number is coming from the military leader. Quite interesting to say we have killed your own citizen.
And be proud of it.
Yeah, we have killed.
Yo, man.
The word killed is heavy, but it's there.
Terrible.
What does this situation tell us about the state of democracy, oppositional politics, and the military influence in parts of Africa? When opposition leaders are forced into hiding and their families placed under siege, what message does this send to young Africans who believe in democratic participation? And is Africa normalizing repression as long as stability in court is maintained?
I love having these conversations about Africa because I feel like these days we are coming like a village. Why am I saying this? I think African countries are interested in what is happening in other African countries as well. And they are vested into following. If you check my page of Zimbabwe, you will find there are people that are commenting on Malawian politics than maybe how it used to be like a couple of years ago. If you talk about 2010 and all that, maybe we were not able to know kuti ndale zathu aku South Africa akuzisata aku Zimbabwe amazisata aku Zambia amazisata. But I think today nobody would many are voter Uganda, Zambia is voting next. And even them, they knew when we were voting. And on the list, we were like, oh, Malawi is voting, then it's going to be Uganda, then it's going to be us. And before that, we had Tanzania also going to elections. And we know what happened there, you know. So it's I think for me, it's like a stepping stone in as far as making Africa as one state is concerned, maybe to the next generation, if they can attempt to do that. Because I feel like we are having similar understanding on how things should be done. So for me, I feel like the fact that we are able to follow politics that is happening kunjaku kumaiko ena amene ndo andikana nafe, it's giving me hope kuti mwina one day anthu ena akadzathazuka pamoja aku Zambia akunonera kuti akuluakulu, let's hold SADC accountable for what they have been doing. Let's tell them that they have not helped us. Let's hold. Yeah, I was saying kuti ngati kunoko Southern Africa kuno kuti tikhozonena kuti hey SADC mukutionjeza, and for Africa we can say kuti oh AU, I think it's time now that you have to come here and talk to us. Now elections in Uganda, man, crazy. Museveni has been in power for like about 40 years, man. That's a long time. 40 years. So munthu amene anzaka 40 ku Uganda sanaonepo president wina other than Museveni. Munthu amene anzaka 30 ndiyoti anabadwa nthawi ya Museveni adakalibe nthawi ya Museveni. Quite interesting. Chisankho chija anthu ambiri tinkadziwa kuti mwina chitha chonchija based on where we are coming from. Based on the fact kuti Museveni amabera zisankho, allegedly, we don't know ngati amabera zisankho. I mean, it's just that the opposition is not as popular as they're supposed to be to sit him, maybe. But we all knew, I think a lot of people knew I think Museveni is still gonna make it. Komano, looking at the aftermath of the election, what has happened, what has followed, you can see there's been a lot of violence happening, my arrest happening, my threats, towards the opposition. Uyu ndani Bobi Wine amakhalira kusekeredwa nyumba mwake momwe. Pena kunyamulidwa kumene ukasidwa kumalo kuti sakudziwa bwinobwino zulo lomwe anapanga post kuti mkazi wanga watengedwa sinzo zolapita naye kuti. This is something that happens every time Uganda is voting. In the previous elections, anafika pajapo mutenga Bobi Wine ukambisa kwina kwake. Nthawi yovota ikakwana, the internet was down in Uganda during voting time. Kuti simungajambule video pano mwatumizire nake sisteka. Because the internet was shut down. makla ya kumene kuinanena kuti ya internet ili ni mavuto fiber yatanipena pake. So you can see all those attempts to still remain in power. So despite after that, now the internet is up, anthu anayamba kumatumizirana ma video akujambula mabaloti. Munthu akugwira chipafeti cha mabaloti chijandi kumachonga amwene page ila iliyonse pa mu7. And then what does that say? Is this what comprised of Museveni's landslide victory? Good landslide imene manenedwa ija inachokera Museveni 71% landslide victory. Was it coming from izizi zoti anthu amavota okha? Also, is it because people were being threatened? Chifukwa chake mwina anthu sanakavote. Because we know kuti throughout the campaign Bobi Wine amakhala apite uku amusekera njira. Apite uku amusekera misonkhano kulephereka and all that. At the end of the day, Museveni wawina, it's a landslide. And then you question kuti, where is the African Union? Because apparently, the African Union anatulusa statement kuti the elections in Uganda were fair and free. And the people's and the results is the reflection of what the people wants in Uganda. Congratulations, President-elect Kaguta Yoweri Museveni. Oh man, what does that speak of African Union? For me, I think for years I've always said the African Union has failed us. The African Union has not represented the will of Africans, other than the will of the few individuals. Amene amakhala kuti kaya anasankhana kuti adzisogolera chinthu chimene chicha. I say, there's been sizoona unena kuti nkhondo ya ku DRC, Rwanda, kaya kuchani, idzikalesedwa ndi US. When we have the whole African Union. Bro, Trump anayima mino nendo di tinaitana atsogoleri akuchani aku DRC, tinaitana atsogoleri aku Rwanda panopa nkhondo imene yatha. How? You have the whole African Union. What are you there for then? If you can't intervene mavuto ngati amene mu nkhondo ngati zimene zizi. So you can see that African Union is there, but I don't think they are doing their job. I don't think they are doing their mandate, what they are meant to be there for. So, for them coming out, endorsing the elections in Uganda with everything that we are seeing, evidence of arrest, evidence of my arrest, my threats, as you were saying, the commander-in-chief, the Mwana Museveni, apparently, Pagada Baba has been trolling in the certain CNN journalist, Rade Mado, like, literally, he was tweeting, I will kill you. How is that possible? Just because he's exposing the deity that his father is doing to the citizens of Uganda. But the African Union is blind to that. They cannot even question those leaders. The same African Union anabanga endorse zisankho za ku Tanzania. Kuti zisankho zimene zinali bwino. When we know kunena kuti pa ballot paper panali munthu mmodzi oti anena kuvoteredwa. What is that? You know? So African Union has failed us. That's my point. And I'll always say this. Because mavoto ena ameneti na ku Africa kuno, they could have been solved by African Union, bringing the nations together. By now, if the African Union was that powerful, timane ukhawudi panopa yadipa organize. Mwina so panopa bwezili ndi currency yatu. Because that was the role of the African Union. That's something they can champion. It was supposed to be the role of the African Union to see, okay, titani. How can we make ourselves as a powerful continent? Kuti na feso tizekhala ndi say pa global village. Kuti tikafika wene bajabita anthu akulimba na feso says okay, ngati Africa, this is what we are bringing. But as you can see, it's not happening. I will blame it on African Union because that's the mother. They were supposed to bring us together. They were supposed to unite us where necessary. They were supposed to call a spade where necessary. Museveni zisankho sizinaende bwino. Why were you arresting these people? Why were you killing these people? Can the people be given freedom kunena kuti apange zakuti avote momasuka, avote mwamtendere, anthu asasekeredwe, and you're not supposed even kuti mufite kunyumba kwa Bobi Wine mukachinge kumeneko for what? They are supposed to be bold enough to say that, but they are not doing that. So African Union, I don't think it's an institution that we have to trust. It can help us as Africans? No. What does this situation tell us about the state of democracy, opposition politics, and military influence in parts of Africa? There is no democracy in Uganda. There is no democracy in Tanzania. Maiko ambiri democracy mulibe. Because people are not given the freedom to choose the kind of leaders that they want. Because my agencies in Ghana police have been captured by the dictators. They are operating not to save the people, but to save them. Because the police in Uganda is always saving Museveni. If you're against Museveni, the police will come after you. Is the police there for that? I don't think so. So you can see that is killing democracy. There's no democracy in some parts of Africa. Even kwa tu unoso mwina. Ka democracy tawina kama zakala udi kalivampeni. You see? So there's no democracy, and the opposition politics, people have to know when they want to outseat those people that have been there for years, they have to struggle to do that. To unseat people like Museveni, to unseat. We have seen a couple of countries, amene achosa pampando, mwina atsogoleroti, kapena zipane zoti zakhalapo pampando. Kwa nthawi ya Italy, we have seen a change of government in Botswana after so many years, opposition inatenga boma. It still gives hope, in some other countries. But in other countries where they are facing people like Museveni, it's a job that you have to think twice when you want to go after those kind of people. I think the least you can do is just waiting for their dying time, man. Kuti mina basi. Akadzachoka, mwina komaso, they are breeding people like mwana wake. You see? And they are in control of the military. They're in control of the police. And once you have control of these institutions, these agencies, you are good to go. So it's tough for people that wants to do politics in those countries. When opposition leaders are forced into hiding and their families placed under siege, we've been talking about that. Kumene Kwanjina Museveni, Bobi Wine has been on the run, nyumba yake, he's been on house arrest for like some days ever since the elections happened. Sangate kutuluka bwinobwino, pedi posibani akwenda policy for what? Now it gives maganizo kwa anthu amene afuna kuyamba politics. Kwa Africa kodi izizi ndi zimene tikhale tikupanga subscribe to, and coming to the question saying, is Africa normalizing repression as long as stability is maintained? I think sometimes as Africans, if as citizens, we are not sure of what we want. Sometimes we're not sure of what we want. So you can see there's still people that are voting for Museveni. It's not like he doesn't have people, he doesn't have votes. It's not like this whole Uganda that hates Museveni. There are people there that are diehards of Museveni. And I think kungofika baja vomereza kuti this is our life. Unless anthu ena akatadzuka ngati mbene kwachitira Burkina Faso kuja kuti there's been maku for like twice. Wina analanda boma, yeso ndikuzalandidwa. So you can see unena kuti mbali ena kukhala ndi kumalimbika mtima unena kuti no, I think we can outseat these people. Komanso mbali ena kukhala ndi kuvomereza kuti I think we just have to accept kuti these kind of leaders are here to stay. So as long as they are here, I think we just have to accept. Akazachoka zabobo. Komano for the sake of peace, ndi miyoyo yathu, ya mabanja athu, ndi ana athu, I think we can just let them be. So yeah, it's funny to see we are still fighting those kind of battles. In 21st century.
All right. Last question on this hot set, so you can go rest.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's hot here. It's really a hot set.
The global power shifts, issues of peace, and the future of materialism. Donald Trump has signaled aggressive geopolitical ambitions, ranging from strategic interest in Greenland to expanding military actions justified under global security narratives. His administration has also promoted a new board of peace with a massive financial backing. And for you to be part of this board of peace, a country is supposed to pay $1 billion for an international membership, with which critics argue could weaken the roles of other entities like the UN. What does this mean for the future of multilateralism, global governance, and international peacekeeping? Are we witnessing a shift from rules-based global order to power-based alliances? And where does Africa fit in a world where peace, security, and diplomacy may increasingly be driven by influence and money rather than international law?
Yeah, man. This is also another one. It's been a year now since Trump was sworn in as the president of the United States of America. So it's been a year. I think he was sworn in on 21st January 2025, right? And by today, but the things that have happened in that year, waigunyuza ziko lapansi. So I feel like this is not what people expected of him. I mean, nobody saw this coming. Palibe. I mean, amaganiza with the return of Trump can bring us this. He's somehow acting as Munhone Nagode doesn't have anything to lose. Like, he doesn't care. And I think even for some Americans who even voted for him, I feel like maybe they are also kind of regretting, what did we put ourselves into, because Trump wafika hapo. So there's been nkhani ya trade pakati pa panali nkhani ya matarifi. He was just imposing tariffs on everyone. If you want to trade with us, these are the tariffs. There was that fight. Anthu analimbana naye, China nayo so inabweza moto, Mariko ina anabweza moto pamene paja kena kwa he bowed down to say bwana mwina titani tikambirane, how best can we do this? And now we can see that it's now getting serious to an extent okay, wamphamvu kodi ndi ndani, you see? So pakati paja panachitika sa ku Venezuela when he went hey, my Trump, my guy. Amazala nkulira and was okay, thank you for your attention to this important matter. So everything coming from Trump is an important matter that you have to pay attention to. So there was that saga that happened in Venezuela where he arrested the president of Venezuela. We don't know whether it was an act, people were acting, or it's something that was really happening. But we know there's so much that is in Venezuela that Trump was interested in. And we know now that the president was arrested, they've got control. They have their military in Venezuela on the ground. Are in control of whatever that they're interested in. And now we are talking about Board of Peace. Bro, for the past year, Trump has been exiting in every organization. They want to build something that makes them hold the power. That's how I'm seeing it. He's building something jodi akaleni mphamvu, because I think zanazana amajoka mu WHO kuti ife ndrama zathu tasiya kupereka ku WHO chifukwa simunaendese bwino ndrama za COVID and like and all that. There's been a lot that he's been doing. Now this Board of Peace akuti kuti ujoine ulipire $1 billion kwacha. $1 billion US. That's like 1 point something trillion Malawi kwacha. Damn, and if this is what we know. Contributing the yan. So I think for me, yeah, definitely he's gonna weaken the UN. It's gonna weaken the UN and the other global security agencies, because I feel like in many I think he should form a powerhouse. he's able to control it. If I want to do ABCD, I will do it, and nobody's gonna stop me. And it's not like he's gonna find it easy to do that. I think pakuzuka be anthu amene amakhanga ulimbana naye, people like Russia, it's not like they can just bow down to that. People maiko ngati achina Canada, there was a conference I think imene inapangidwa ndi I don't know kuti inachitika kuti koma kunali president aku France wa Canada so analankhula kumene kokwende
Davos.
Inachitika ku
World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
In Davos.
Switzerland. Yeah. So kunachitikabe ma statement ena akaonesa kuti people are not backing off. Now also they are building something kuti akhoza somatani, akhoza maopedwa. So you can see kuti despite him doing all this, it means unena kuti international peacekeeping will somehow have challenges, because I mean, if they say they're not giving money to UN and all that, it still affects the operations of the UN, and that means unena kuti it gives him power, or bungo limene akukhazikisali, it gives him power kuti azitha upanga call shots. I've not quite followed everything that has been happening, Ababa. I think I will not have much to say on this, but we are all witnessing what Trump is doing, what he's building. Komano ninkhani nina kuti pakhala ma alliance, and it's not everyone amene akhale kuti akusatira akugwirizana ndi zimene Trump akufuna or akunena. People will be building their own alliances. Monga mene umanenera ku conference mene inachitika Canada inaonesaso stand yawo nena kuti ifeso this is our stand. Ajina France nawonso amene kuti ifeso maiko amene tikuoneka ngati ochepekedwa mphamvu tufunika so at least nafe tikhale ndi say. And it will take us back to zimene timanena when we're talking about Africa. Kuti now Africa, where are you? Your friends are organizing themselves. Your friends are organizing themselves. Where are you? Are you coming to the table, to the global village, to the global table with a saying as Africa? Yoti mutha kulimba mtima ndikunena kuti ifeyo ngati Africa, this is our step or this is our decision mu zimene zikuchitikasi. Are you going to be bold enough to say that? Komano, as we were saying, as Africa, sitinazikonzekerese. The AU has not helped us kuti ikhozofika pa table imene ndinena kuti akuluakulu, this is what we are doing. We are not ready for that. So many anthu akupanga alliance mwina tikapeza kuti tazipachika kwa wina wake, ifeyo ngati Africa sitikhala ndi position patokha. But are we not capable of just standing by ourselves and ndinena kuti ifeyo this is our stand? Are we not capable? We are. But as it stands, tipeza kuti tikazikoleka kwa wina wake. In the end, ndiziya timapeza zoti tikupanga line kwa wina wake, komano kwinaku tikupanga create so enmity yonena kuti mwina sitipindulira fachona kuti munthuyo amatithandiza so mwanjira ina yake. So tipeza kuti tili pakati pena pake poti tikufinyika ngati Africa, because we choose to align ourselves kwa wina wake when at the same time we are creating a distance ndi wina wake amene so ndiofunika in terms of development yakunoko ku Africa. Chifukwa cha mmene timatani timapangira timanena kuti ayi ma development partners and so on and so forth, and then anthu achafoti timapanga pressure so nchifukwa chake timavutika when we are choosing where to align with. Chifukwa patokha tilibe stand yonena kuti tikhozonena kuti ifeso tikuyima patokha ngati Africa. But I can say kuti we are capable of doing that. We've got everything. We've got the resources, we've got the people, we've got every kind of resource that you may mention. Kuti ifeyo ngati Africa tikhoza kuyima patokha. So, but that's the challenge. Kuti we've not equipped ourselves and we've not made ourselves ready to make that position as Africa. Thank you, sir.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I was on the hot seat. I don't know how you will react to this one, but yeah, ndimene tabwerera chaka ichi cha 2026, as it was said earlier in the show, kunena kuti we'll be bringing some kind of changes in how we come to you, and you're gonna love it. And thank you so much for watching us. Please continue subscribing to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss an episode. It's been me, Cardinal Henry, instigator anali kumbali ya kumenewo, instigating kubanga zimene amata. We will see you in the next one. We don't know what that next one will be, but we will see you in the next one. Thank you guys. Goodbye.